All right, we are live. Good evening, agents. I'm your co-host for Behind the Scanner tonight. We are doing episode number 14 of our weekly Thursday night broadcast. Today's date is July 31st, 2014. Tonight's going to be a guys' night only, with the exception of one of our guests, because our BTF staff members, Daphne D, is out increasing her unique portal account, and Kelly Colton has one of those pesky job things that's interfering with it all. So, without further ado, my only co-host for tonight is going to be Jorge Pedrero, also known as Trisco in Game. He is my better-looking Mexican brother from a Resistance mother. Please welcome Jorge. Jorge, how's it going, man?
Hello, man. Really good. Well, welcome, guys. And, well, just a reminder, if you can watch the whole show this night, well, you can go to our YouTube channel, that is youtube.com/behindthescanner, and watch it tomorrow, the next day, whenever you want. We'll enable the Q&A tool for this Hangout, and if you have any specific question for our guest, please start with the guest name, and then please type your question. We're going to choose one or two from there to ask them. Also, we have a Google form you can use to submit recommendation for guests. That is the link, the bit.ly/BTS_guest. Again, bit.ly/BTS_guest.
And bit.ly is spelled L-Y, by the way. bit.ly/BTS_guest. So, all right, we're going to be doing something a little bit different tonight. We've got two guests that are going to be joining us live from the same city. So they're going to be actually on the same camera. So instead of having two individual interviews, we're actually going to have a single combined panel and sort of bounce questions between the two of them. Hopefully get a little friendly banter going. So with that, let's introduce our guests. Joining us from the Googleplex in Mountain View, California, we have Brandon Downey, known as Agent Dogboy. He is about as close to legendary as one can get in the game, and joining Brandon is his Resistance nemesis, an agent with equal epic bragging rights. So please welcome Kelley. Wait, is it Riebel or Riebel? I never get that right. Oh, you're muted, but I think you said Riebel. I can read lips. It's one of my other powers besides having an epic beard. So you said Riebel. Is that correct, Kelley?
Definitely.
All right.
Good to see you. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to see you as always, Andrew, and it's nice to meet you as well, Jorge. And tonight we'll be joining you, and the Scotch tonight is 18 Macallan. So
Excellent.
Started.
Looking forward to it. So I apologize. I don't have the epic background tonight to welcome you. I'm in a hotel room in Portland, Oregon somewhere, but your Scotch makes up for it, so it's all good.
And you don't have your lower third.
I know. Internet connections. It's all good. So, let's just jump right into it. So, Enlightened Agent Dogboy and Jonas Shark. I gotta ask, what's up with the animal names? Brandon?
Oh, you go first.
Okay. So actually, this is a little bit ironic because now I guess it's time for me to come out of the closet. I'm actually not a dog person. I get along with a lot of dogs, but what happened was Google was putting out this new augmented reality game, and I said, well, what's it about? And somebody said, well, it's sort of cyberpunk influenced. And so I said, well, I should use like a character name from a friend of mine's like Shadowrun campaign, just because, and the character is like an autistic boy who can talk to machines. Now, some people have said that, you're at your strongest playing playing yourself.
Okay.
What happened was that, like, once I found out it was more of a conspiracy angle, I wanted to use Anonymous Bosch as my agent name. So I think that's like, yeah. But by that point, like, it had sort of gotten too big, right? And like, after Bowstring, like, there was no sort of coming back from it. So it's been Dogboy since then. So now I have people meeting me who's like, I want to say hello to the dog, and gone down a dark path.
Well, for us, I'm part of the Sharks, the San Francisco Sharks, and one day we really wanted to acknowledge the community we built in the South and Market area of San Francisco, and we were also drunk and bored at the time. So we all decided to change our names en masse, and there's about 20 of us now running around.
So there's lots of sharks, but there's no other like dog girls, dog child, cat boy.
There was briefly, actually, there was a spoofer, well, not spoofer, there was briefly a fake account named Catboy here at the Googleplex. Who would make,
I know nothing about that. I know nothing about
as
that.
it turns out, like, I'm kind of a link Nazi, so, like, this fake Enlightened account would show up and throw bad links occasionally.
Oh, were you embarrassed?
No, I wasn't embarrassed at all.
Okay.
All I had was a wagon full of ADAs to fix those links. So,
How did you get those?
People became aware that it was something I was into, and then ADAs started to trickle in. So,
Darling?
thank you.
I
Oh
like
my
this is headed.
I just have water.
Oh, come on, you know it is.
How we roll.
I can't reach the minibar. It's way over there.
Andrew, you should take a break.
Because, if we're not throwing fields and drunk at the same time, there's really no point.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, guys, I'm very curious because, well, Andrew mentioned it, you mentioned it. You are at a Google office. What do you do for a living?
Sure, I work in information security, so I basically help keep computer networks safe from hackers, or try to. So, and that means I have a sort of a large background in sort of risk management.
And I'm a financial administrator for various nonprofits and smaller businesses around the Bay Area.
Very interesting, Kelley. You and I might have to chat offline because.
Let me do your taxes.
Yeah.
No, the 501c3 charitable organization was kind of stood up by myself and a few other guys. So.
I can help you.
You really missed having Financial Panther as an agent name.
That's too long.
I don't think it is.
So, obviously, you guys get along pretty well. That or you have extremely high tolerances for each other, and possibly the alcohol is making the relationship terrible.
Well, for me, I am usually drunk most of the time. And he knows.
Probably 85% of the time.
I mean, otherwise, what's the point? But what we've learned as being co-leads in this area is that he's actually a really great guy, and he's a very deep friend. And he's been really helpful and supportive of me when I went through some really traumatic times recently. So I'm really thankful for him, and I hope that when the game ends, that we're really still friends. But yeah, I think that if anything, we really kind of play off each other on a regional and global level, and we kind of make it fun for each other. Yeah,
what's sort of terrifying, right, is that like we actually have a lot of very similar interests. So it feels like I have a sister that I'm playing on the other side of the game board. But this is actually this is something I told Chris Murray, Agent Rowie, or Mr. Owie, as some of his fans and so-called call him, was that like I tend to view Ingress, I want to view Ingress like we're playing a board game, right? And if I'm playing a board game with my friends, I will be absolutely utterly ruthless within the context of the game, and then when the game is over, I'm perfectly capable of being nice, right?
He was very kind today when he let me know my Guardian was going down. So he pulled me aside and said, "Hi, sweetie, I'm sorry to tell you it's going down soon."
Just business.
How many days was it at?
It was at 88 days.
Oh, it was 88 or 89. So,
I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." You did the courtesy, the professional courtesy.
Well, so I'm not guardian, but in general, I don't take Guardians out on the last day because I feel like that's too risky. And more importantly, like I don't need the thrill of the 89th day, right? I would prefer to take things out early.
Only you would donate yourself.
I know, but I have a day job.
It would have meant something.
A lot of people in Enlightenment wish I didn't have a day job, right? Like I'd retire from Google and warlorded around for 6 months or something.
I'm just saying, if your frenemy is going to take out your Guardian, he should do.
It should be you. Yeah, you can't be Don. You can't be Don Downey out there just ordering things. That's man.
Sure.
Have you found his Guardian though, Kelley?
I don't look at him out.
Yeah. So Andrew, as a rule, unless I believe that the Guardian is a really serious portal, the middle of an active volcano, I don't really play the Guardian game. I'm gonna get to 14 by uniques and unique captures. So.
But I do think on a global and regional level, we do play off each other, and it is actually in some ways more fun because he'll say, "Hey, nice to meet you." I'm like, "Hey, good luck with San Diego," and we have this back and forth.
That's right.
And it actually makes it more fun and more personal and more enjoyable.
By the way, if I can interrupt real quick, I don't know if that's your guys' computer. This is live.
Yeah,
you might want to turn off the Hangouts. I should have told you that before.
Hang on a second. Can I sign out of Hangouts without signing out of your?
No, you can snooze this.
Just close the Google Plus tab. It'll leave the Hangouts window open.
Snooze the Hangouts. There's an option.
Google Plus tab is closed, and there we go. All right. As you all know, everyone in Ingress is a fan of the Hangouts product. And I have to say that because Google signs my paycheck every penny.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a wonderful product. In fact, evidenced by my lower third that's shown right where I'm pointing.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Yeah, it's actually like it's terrible. Please, someone fix this. If you're on the Hangouts team watching this,
Dave,
we're in hell.
Dave, please. Dave.
Oh well, guys. Kelley, what dirt did you have on Brandon that you could use to get him switching factions?
Oh, I don't think I could get him to switch factions at all. I think I can maybe embarrass him by saying he's such a nice, sweet guy who's like really considerate and nice, and that might ruin his reputation.
That's dirt.
Yeah. There have been too many people that have been inconsiderate and not nice too.
No, I guess but he's a really nice guy, and he's really been there for me, and it's great. He might actually. It might take your rep down a little bit, so I might be able to lower him a little bit.
Well, given that I'm such a nice guy that I had your guardian taken out on the day that you were putting this show, I think I got it covered. Like, no risk there. Yeah.
He's nice except for when it's all business, right?
No, that's right.
But I wouldn't. If I had a nemesis, why would I expect anything less?
Yeah, but like
Very true.
I have any dirt on him? No.
No dirt yet.
Well,
Yeah, we'll see.
I could edit your stuff down a little bit more.
Yeah, you could edit my stuff down a little more.
We could have that moment.
Yeah.
You can send me your sit reps. I'll be like, no. Sweet.
Yeah. I do.
There was that one time after San Diego, right, when you went to Tijuana in a donkey or something. I heard.
No. That's
no one's gonna believe that.
Yeah. That's not okay.
Really, nobody's gonna believe that, but believe.
Really? Like, because I have pictures of myself having oysters right by the...
You have oysters everywhere.
I know, but, like, I have another picture of myself at San Diego at the aircraft carrier having oysters. So, like... The
secret is that we talk about non-Ingress stuff, like,
wait a second. So
of the time.
This is my nemesis. She's allergic to oysters.
Allergic. Someone get me an EpiPen.
Yeah. I know.
So, actually...
Like her kryptonite. So
I subsist on red meat and scotch. That's all I can do.
So that actually brings up a pretty interesting question, because anybody that follows you, Brandon, on G+ knows that you love oysters. I'm actually surprised that there's any left in the Bay Area, because it seems like you just eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
He's a man-child, and he does have a lot of disposable income. Like there's only buy at one time.
Here's the story, Andrew. I actually am from rural Alabama. I'm actually from the town that Forrest Gump went to make his money. It's an actual town. But every Saturday, my grandfather and I would go out fishing, and his brother ran oyster reefs. So we would get fresh oysters, take them home, sit on my grandfather's porch, shuck the oysters, and then have them right there.
Can we talk about my preference for barbecue now? Can we do that now?
Actually, yeah. So that was going to lead into my next question: is Kelley, what is your Ingress food if his is oysters?
Scotch.
That's the best answer ever.
Yeah. Liquid.
No. There's nothing else. Are you kidding? Because we do on a daily basis, and we talk a lot about just process and how we manage what we do. Yeah, you gotta be drunk a lot of the time, or else you'll just go nuts.
It's interesting because I actually don't drink.
Is it your hangout again?
Yes, it is my hangout, but I've closed them all, so like I've done exactly as Andrew has asked. So I think the little beep adds a certain cinema verite to it.
Well,
it's okay.
Making me nervous.
Is something going on? Am I getting fielded?
I'm always getting.
Where's the fucking cycle? Wayne, check the fucking map.
So
nice.
I actually considered fielding the Google campus, but there's a concert going on now, so I figured it would be better, right? Like I'm actually not sure where the beeping is coming from now because I've closed all the other ones, but
it's not me.
Yes.
We could blame it on Jorge. He's down.
No. I have my.
I was going to say one interesting note is that I actually the week before an anomaly or large are up, I generally don't drink in that week because like I like staying focused, and then after that, no, like a friend of mine got champagne before San Diego, and I said no champagne until after the event, regardless of what happens, because I'm like a focus junkie, right? So one of the things I like about Ingress and Ops is that like it allows me to sort of hyper focus on something, right? And that's like sort of the best. If you can just focus on something, right? Sort of like snorting like Ritalin off like some stripper, right? Like there's just nothing better to get focused, and that's Ingress. It doesn't have to be.
I'm gonna go with the hooker instead. I'm sorry if I had.
I was trying to keep it PG-13.
Oh,
so Andrew's
sweetie.
request. That was.
Did I miss that part of the meeting?
We'll do the behind the scanners after dark here.
I'm just getting some makeup.
Makeup touch up. There you go.
Oh my god.
Theatricality is one of his weapons. So I believe it's one of Kelley's as well.
There you go.
Thank
All
you.
right.
You're
All right,
perfect.
so one of the other things I know about you guys is that you are Doctor Who fans, correct?
We really are.
So, which Doctor? I think this is an ingress first. We have not had a live touch-up on screen before.
Thank you.
Which Doctor is your favorite, and which episode is also your favorite?
Okay, so I feel like that's kind of a softball question, but since Kelley's getting here,
Oh,
so the correct answer is that probably I wanted to say the 11th was my favorite, but like let's be honest.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. War Doctor, because that's.
Oh my God! We're gonna fight now.
Yeah. No, but favorite episode. I really liked the two-parter in the library. I felt like that was a really good one. Or actually, the Pandorica arc I thought was really good.
That was terrible. That was the
terrible?
worst. It was the worst.
The Pandorica arc really worked.
I'm
like
a Tennant fan.
Okay.
Yeah, Tennant fan. Sorry.
Too many feels.
Tennant fan, and also then a number 7 fan. Yeah, that's right. Right.
Number 7.
Staying with Ace is fantastic.
Well, yeah, because Ace is always like blowing shit up, right? But that's not a
Do
property
you
of
not
7.
know who I am?
That's not a property
That
of
is a
7.
property
That's
of
like
7.
Ace was like her own thing.
No,
like,
because
I can't believe you would
like
say
a
that like
father
you as a
figure to her.
feminist would associate Ace's success with the Doctor. Like
That's true.
That's right.
She did really good with
So number 7 was Sylvester McCoy, right? I believe.
Andrew.
Absolutely. Good job.
Yeah, good job, Andrew.
Hey,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's and although I will have to say my favorite was Brandon's favorite. It's also Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor.
Yeah, Tom Baker's he's a fan favorite. I love Tom
It's
Baker.
a classic. Yeah, how do you can't? It's like
I
Sean Connery for 007, right? How do you?
I really like. I hate 11, but I really like Doctor's Wife because it's really thought out and had so many years of development. I thought
of course, like because Neil Gaiman, like
But then
you can't,
the
like,
Silver Surfer episode sucks, right? Afterwards, it was terrible.
Yeah, but it had Willow.
Well, can I get back to English a little bit, please?
Right. That's what we're here for. Oh, God.
Brandon, you describe yourself at times as a man-child with too much disposable income.
That's just like, there was that BBC series Man-Child, and I think about it a lot when, like, somebody was like, well, a friend of mine and we were, like, crowdsourcing, like, a plane to get to, like, San Miguel Island, and I was thinking, like, wow, like,
I remember that day.
Yeah, this is like, I was like, this is just playing out, like, some sort of, elaborate adventure or fantasy in my head, right? Where, like, I can't be on this. I almost was on that plane, but I was like, it's wrong for me to be there because, like, there are better hikers and there are better people with, and I'm a better operator, so, like.
And I was not on the helicopter.
Right.
So sad.
I know, I'm like, but,
so
like,
sad.
but, like, that's
so
the sort of thing a man-child would do. So, like, but I think it helps because, I have a sense of whimsy about things, and, like,
Whimsy? Is it whimsy?
Yeah, it's whimsy.
Is
so,
you
like,
sure? It's not
yeah,
arrogance?
so, like, when I come up and say, like, hey, I'd like to win, like, Irvine's Sepicycle, and, like, I asked my friend, like, Rakazog, and he said, well, I've got this field that takes, 20 layers to Hawaii, and I'm like, okay, so, like, I'm like, how many VRLA is it? And I'm like, I'm like, let's do it, because it would be fun.
Day.
And, like,
that was a fun day for everyone.
Yes, it was. So, no, I mean, like, so I like doing things that are fun, and this is something I share with my friend 4'7" from Australia. She's always, like, told people that they should do what they think is fun, and while I enjoy winning, I also enjoy winning in sort of.
But you know what? Something that doesn't happen between us. When shit's going down, we don't go, what the fuck, in the middle of it. We just leave each other alone, and we just go with it. And it's kind of nice that we get really professional when those are going down.
Yeah.
So, you were in San Diego, and I was doing Dublin, and we just left each other alone until it was over. It was lovely. So we have a way of being able to work with each other and then not work with each other at the same time.
That is so beautiful.
Nobody likes distractions. I would just mute her. Like a.
I'll just watch you.
That's right.
Well, guys, if it is cool for you to go for some questions from the audience.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean,
Bring
like,
Yeah.
fans and nemesis. Yeah.
Well, we have a question from Jik Shen, just a recent guest from us, and well, he's asking this for to you too. Felicia says that Oliver and Calvin have always intended to use the scanner to expose the public to a massive dose of XM using resonators and fields. Hank and Deborah think this is criminal. Oliver is doing it again in Helios. What's your take?
While she's deliberating.
Well, for me,
I'll let you go. Ladies first.
Okay. Well, we're in the middle of doing this, and I know there's an overarching story, and it's lovely. Here's why I'm involved in this. It's because it's really awesome to amass a tremendous amount of people and resources, time, money, sweat and tears, and I think the other thing that kind of makes it stupid. And just, it reduces the focus of what we can do. Individually, we can do amazing things, and we've done amazing things throughout California and the world.
Well, I think the question is actually about XM exposure to the public, right?
You know what?
You don't care?
I don't give a shit.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say that the questioner has a few flaws. Hank Johnson has never opposed the widespread exposure of the populace to XM. He's actually, an advocate of exploring what XM can offer us. But I think actually, from my perspective, right, I think that XM is accelerating human evolution, right?
Really?
Human evolution, not artificial machine evolution.
That's not enlightenment. Enlightenment comes from within, right?
Well, that's what it is, right? So people need to be able. So some people
take an artificial influence.
But it's not artificial. Actually, XM has been with humanity since its beginning. That's the point of Hank Johnson's work. Is that every time every advance in civilization has been correlated with the existence of portals.
Oh,
so every time you see a portal, you see
here we are, and it's here we are.
But that's just it. XM allows us to open the door.
What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? Some research on the chicken and the egg situation here?
Well, no, I mean, but that's just it, right? I mean, people, nobody's perfect. Everybody needs help, and that's actually another sort of lesson from the Enlightenment, right? Is that we do not have to be rogue individuals, right? We have our friends who can help us. We're not ashamed to work together.
And when we work together,
Why don't we save this for at the end when we start talking about two factions?
Powerful is actually the thesis of fascism. Just to say.
Excellent. Yes.
No, I mean the bundle of sticks that is stronger together. Sorry,
Excellent.
By the way, I will say I don't know. It's official now that the events over the last week have actually slowed the decay rate to 20%. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I will cheers to our moderate success.
Yeah.
We made a teal field here in California. Yeah, and what can I tell you, right?
That was fun.
It was fun. We got to work together. So
we got to work together.
That episode of the comic book where the villains and the superheroes work together because Galactus is here and he's going to eat everything. It was just
it was fun.
Yeah. Also, there were idiots.
I was also drunk the entire time.
So Deborah is Galactus.
No, I don't know. More like an irritant.
Gotcha. Jorge, do you got another question?
A modern day.
Really, but if you put an irritant in an oyster, you get a pearl, right?
That's right. So maybe something good will come out of it.
It might be fun.
Yeah.
You might have.
Okay, we have another question from Brad Howard, and he says, given your success
he's a member of the Sacramento Brain Trust. There's actually a whole league of people there who excel at independent thinking.
It's good to have artists and creators.
That's right. Okay, let's hear the question.
Okay. Given your success in your recent NorCal Tilornotio, or UP, I said it correctly, how do you each address the concerns from your agent bases? That feels confidential info and tactics that you are unique to each team's success are being compromised by such efforts?
That's an easy answer.
Let me go first.
Oh, of course.
Okay. So what happens is we are in a unique position to see the big view, the long view. We see what's happening in communities across the world all the time, all day. So at times that means that we have to make tough decisions, and we have to really think of the good of everyone, both on an XM level and what we're doing, but also on an economic and personal level. So at times that is hard for our communities to understand, but we are really trying to take a leadership role in thinking ahead and looking what might not be very obvious for everyone else. So I understand that for some of our communities it was hard, this heal situation, and we sympathize and we empathize. We know it didn't make sense, but we do stand by our decisions to move that forward.
As witnessed by the fact that it generated results. So I'll just add that I'm in violent agreement with what Kelley said. I tend to take the long view. In fact, there's an organization in San Francisco that shares my beliefs called the Long Now Foundation. You should look them up. They're very interested in sort of the future of humanity and long-term thinking. So that's what I go. But in terms of the specific questions about tactics and things like that, we actually reused a field that was designed by one of your own, a brilliant fielder from Sacramento, Agent Trokar. I think that,
Hey, dear.
right. So I think that we're, like we used a field that had been done before, except cross-faction. So I don't think that we gave that much away. And at the same time, it was a chance to sort of like learn a little bit about each other. But I don't think that either side got a big advantage, right?
No one got a big advantage. I think if anything, the advantage was that we were able to create better communication.
Yeah, that's right.
And we were able to understand each other better where we're coming from.
Yeah.
What's the interesting thing about this whole thing is that at a certain point you realize that both sides have to deal with the same things at the same time, and we have the same complaints,
That's
and
right.
we have the same struggles. And while we are reacting with each other, there is still a commonality that we both experience.
Yeah.
You both put your pants on one leg at a time.
I believe she
Sure.
wears. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's. I wear shorts.
No,
Yeah.
it's more than just like jump up and down to get in them.
Okay.
No.
Oh, guys,
Right.
Chris Costello is pointing something that there's rumors that Brandon was accidentally added to a high-level resistance hangout.
That's true, and I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. It was me.
Yeah.
It was me, and that was fun. And it never let me down because you know what? Hangouts suck on mobile.
Yeah. So actually.
Also, I was drunk at the time.
Yeah. So
if that helps.
I have to say that like Kelley has made strategic blunders, but that's not one I can blame her for because honestly, Hangout sucks.
It sucks,
Like I mean, it's
sorry.
just like there's no doubt, right? Every time I have another friend named Chris who's an operator. Every time I invite him to a Hangout, I hesitate for a moment because there's Marawi's name, and I'm like, one day it's going to happen that I invite him a mistake. And like that's just why I'm not drunk before.
Right.
That's like.
But it wasn't the day of the op, and I was still drunk.
That was after that,
what
right?
am I
So it felt
gonna
like it was
do, right?
a kind of a reaction.
You know what? It was
But
fun.
it was good. The best part was that like somebody changed the title to like enlightened leader Dogboy has done it. I said, well, I'm really more of a community organizer.
Right. That was the
And they
biggest bunch
changed
of
the
shit
title.
I've ever heard in my life.
I am a community organizer.
Okay,
Like,
whatever you think.
it's not like I have a crown. Like a.
You don't?
No, I do not have a crown.
Oh.
Wait a second. I have a really
I
funny.
do have my
Whoa,
crown.
a second. I actually have
I
a
do,
really
I
funny
do
story
have a
about
crown.
crowns. You're gonna like this, Andrew. So as a kid, I was raised by deeply religious individuals,
Oh, who
and
wasn't?
they took me to a class where they had a contest over who could sort of answer questions from the religious text, right? And the winner of this contest got to wear King Solomon's crown.
Oh.
And King Solomon's crown was a
That's
Burger
insane.
King crown,
Oh.
repurposed to be
Did
an
you
actual.
feel bad?
I didn't feel bad. I was just like, at the time, I was like, this doesn't seem like a real crown. Because, you only, as a child, you're even more literal, right? So I was like, this is not a crown. Like a. But ever since then, I've thought of that crown whenever someone's talking about wearing a crown. So,
Where's my crowd?
I believe it would be Yara for you.
Have you seen my logo? There's a crowd on it. Yes.
Oh,
I have
guys,
heard rumors that Brandon does have a tiara.
Oh, good. Oh, pretty little princess.
Yeah.
well, let's have Kelley answer this next question first, and then Brandon. What personal English moment are you the most proud of?
Right. Well, while I'm proud of our wins in Oakland and in the I.O. Burst, what I'm actually most proud of is that we were able to develop a community after San Jose Magnus, and we were able to further resistance in the Bay Area to a very strong degree. And we were able to create a worthy nemesis to the Enlightened, and we increased communication and cooperation throughout the area. The Bay Area is actually quite a few different communities put together, and we were able to really make it something happen that hadn't existed before. So that's what I'm most proud of, is just seeing the community come together and become something really strong.
Wow.
Well said.
Brandon?
So I think like for me, every time I have one of these large field ops, I get to look around and see all the people who are there. And it turns out that like over time, the people who are on those ops are all my friends, and they're all the people I've done like amazing things with, right? There are friends of mine who sit 36 hours on a dock waiting for a shard. There are friends of mine who have walked and hiked, an entire day to get to a portal. There are friends of mine who have operated for 48 hours straight. Hey, Brent, thanks. And anytime I have one of those ops where all my friends are together, I think like this is amazing that I have this team of people, and I'm so proud that they're there with me. So I think that's actually the thing.
Speaking of the team, that is really powerful, because I have been overwhelmed by the response of people who I asked in less than 48 hours, hey, can you help me out? I really need something. And people sacrifice time and effort and money and give so much just for the cause. And they do it without even thinking about themselves. And that is really something quite beautiful, and it always humbles me that they're able to just give of themselves like that on a regular basis. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, the most recent story that comes to my mind is there's a resistance agent out by where I live in Maryland whose son passed away a number of years ago. He hasn't been able to afford a headstone for it.
That happened today. That happened today.
Yes, and so, yep. So we all got together and donated, and they got a very nice, beautiful memorial bench that they're going to be placing out there, I think, in the fall. So it's the community aspect of the game is pretty powerful. Speaking of community, though, I don't know if it's the Scotch or not, but Brandon, you seem to be drifting a little bit away from Kelly and off camera.
I'm actually in the light right here, so what we need to do is move the laptop over a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
Just look like through the curtains. Yeah, so it wasn't just the Scotch. No, let me there we go. All right.
Perfect. So switching gears a little bit too, because that was kind of serious. What is the most embarrassing moment that you guys have had in Ingress? Oh, he's starting to laugh already.
What's most embarrassing to me is when my players and the people who I love can't manage their own frustrations, and when they start to act out. That's the most frustrating and embarrassing for me.
Right, but that's like your team, right? What's your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, there's so many. Apparently adding you.
That's not the most.
That's the most embarrassing thing I've done.
It's not barely your fault because it's Hangouts, right? Everybody knows that Hangouts is
right.
Right?
No, what's embarrassing to me is literally I want the people who I represent to really do their best, and I know it's frustrating when you're working day in, day out to cover your territory. That it can be frustrating, and I understand that. But keeping your cool, that's when people don't. That really frustrates me, and that embarrasses me. Because we gotta be classy people, we gotta be classy. Resistance is classy, so let's just do it.
What was that?
We have a list. We go through a list.
Nice.
So we exchange numbers just so we can call each other in the middle of the night. Oh, this person's doing it again. Shit. On both sides.
So you asking me my most embarrassing thing? That's a tough question.
Your personal one.
Oh yeah, I like personal because Kelley kind of blamed her team for embarrassing her.
Right. Yeah.
I told you. What part of adding you to the Hangout?
Okay, here we go. This is good. So we have this farm right up here in the Bay Area in a town called
I'm
Southwest.
never adding you to another Hangout again.
Oh, thank you. So anyway, what happens is that I schedule an event to build it, right? And I managed to actually invite all my circles. So of course, 20 resistance people show up, and then 20 enlightened people show up, and then actually we still build it 4 times and burn it out. That's why we're awesome. But the thing that's embarrassing is not that. The next day, my good friend the Strobist, who's a photographer, calls me up, and I said, "Hey Dave, how's it going?" Because we went on this trip to Cuba together, so we're good friends. And he's like, "Hey, Brandon, I was wondering if you could talk to my wife." And I'm like, because I don't really know his wife. I'm like, "Dave, what's up?" He's like, "Well, I need you to explain this event she was invited to." And the event was downtown Los Altos, which is short for DTLA. DTLA domination. And I was like, and he's like, I want you to Google DTLA domination. I'm like, what are you talking about? And of course, DTLA also is an acronym for downtown Los Angeles. And Google for DTLA domination. He's like, I need you to explain to my wife that you're not my dominatrix. And,
I will help that.
And I was like, he's like, I said, well, it's actually about Ingress, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I understand. I just need you to talk to her. And I'm like, I really don't think that's your scene, Dave. I mean, he's like, I understand. I just need you to reassure her that you're right. I'm like, wait,
right.
I'm not going to reassure. I mean, she's I'm from the Bay Area, so that's not going to.
Give her my card.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Well, guys, what are your thoughts on the recent global portal virus and how coming artifacts will impact it? Should factions collaborate together?
What? Now, here's my problem. Here's my problem with the virus is because what Niantic fails to understand is that our people go to, particularly in California, and this is a California-specific thing, is that our people on both sides spend a tremendous amount of time on cost of data, travel, hiking up to various mountains, and
helicopters,
planes, Zodiacs.
Yeah, Zodiac.
Right? So the fact is that our people, both our people on both sides spend a tremendous amount of money and effort and time at climbing 8,000 feet from mountains, and to then cheapen it by doing this Deborah thing, really undercuts the amazing work people are doing. And to me, it's a distraction, and it's causing friction on both sides, and it's unnecessary. And if you want a really healthy game, and you want the back and forth that we provide, particularly in California, you've got to stop that. Not worth it.
All right, so let me actually follow up, Kelley, with a related but similar question though. It's in the game. It's part of the Helios anomaly. If you capture artifacts, yep. So what do you think about after the Helios anomaly series is over? There's going to be that 2-week window that is going to allow people to capture artifacts and hopefully slow down whatever happens even more. Do you think that after the anomaly is done and there's a winner, that the sides should work together to capture these artifacts in order to slow down the decay?
You know what? This is the thing, is that we had this great tealing experience, and I'm really glad we had that moment together, because it probably won't ever happen again. But I think it caused so much friction on both sides, and we caught enough interesting comments from both sides that it's not worth it, and it takes away from the actual spirit of the game.
So I actually disagree with that. I actually think that the teal experience was fun, and it was great.
It was fun.
No, I mean, sometimes there are challenges that
totally
both sides can work together for, but when it comes to artifacts, I'm here to tell you, hell no.
Oh, hell
yeah,
no.
So the teal thing was
in the middle of the night.
Right, it is orthogonal to sort of the success of the anomaly, right? So I was happy to do it because I think that the decay as a mechanic exists because Niantic feels like there were new players and they needed more churn, right? It's really a solution to a problem that was caused by shields becoming too powerful.
Exactly, reduce the shields.
Right.
And this is where we absolutely
we agree on the sort of mechanic. Because both of us are responsible for standing farms of a particular color on either side of the Bay Area, and those standing farms exist because shields are now too powerful, right? We believe that if you had reduced the shields, you would have more churn and solve the problem.
It's pointless and it's a waste of resources.
Right. And honestly, as a game mechanic, the idea that you would drive around in a circle, clicking recharge. Hey, Ingress is more than a game. Sorry,
it is a lifestyle.
Yeah. The idea that your game mechanic is to drive around and click recharge more, it's just not. It's not elegant, and it's not.
And we both have a mutual friend on my side that he's had to drive around for hours on the interstate.
Both of us have had people. Right, I have a friend who drives
okay.
an extra 3 hours a week to get the XM to recharge his Guardians or his Anchors, right?
And it's not okay.
Right, and it's for another friend of mine was like, well, why doesn't he just stop doing that? And I'm like, okay, so these people care about this game, so they're not going to stop doing that. So all you've done is torture these people.
Right, and they've
care about Ingress.
And they've done amazing.
Right. So those people are not going to stop. Right?
Yeah, I know. It's disrespectful.
And it's also I also feel like it poorly it targets rural Ingress players in a sort of negative way.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's actually really unfair.
It is.
Because so here in the city,
so they don't get anomaly.
Right.
They don't get any roll-offs.
But they sure
make it harder.
Yeah,
it's disrespectful.
I don't really believe in respect as a concept, but yeah, sorry, I'm not going to secure. But no, I mean it's not disrespectful, but it's just it's wasteful of these people's time, right? These guys could be having fun, blowing things up, building farms.
Disrespectful.
What's respect, right?
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, one person.
So yeah, that's. Oh, and I just want to say that Dr. Bogdanovich is a modern-day Mingala for destroying the Portal network. No, I mean portals have been with humanity since the dawn of time.
Really?
So anybody who
how's it?
Yes, actually.
How's it?
The data is clear.
The data is clear. This is not why I'm in the game for.
I understand that, for some people, they think that Ingress is a game, right? But, I've seen Roland Jarvis return to life. It's real. This is my life. The real good news is that Roland Jarvis is alive.
And he went to a Cinnabon.
And he was seen.
He could have been.
He was seen at Starbucks afterwards, right?
Sorry by sending that shard.
He could have been cuter.
Wow, I don't judge people by their appearance.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
He could have been cuter. With SAG rate. Was he getting dues? Seriously.
Guys, when you are not playing Ingress, what else do you do for on your free time?
Do we have free time?
We do have some free time. One of my hobbies is photography. I love street photography. So when I go places, I tend to take pictures and things like that. And you saw a little bit of that in my video response to Cinema Moyer. And like I also, other things. I obviously like travel. I like,
How are your miles?
How are my miles?
How are your miles?
Yeah.
Every weekend, hey, guess where I am?
Yeah, I'm always sorry.
There's a lot of gestures.
No, I mean, I like seeing new places, and that's actually my favorite badge in Ingress is the unique portals visited, because it's the one that's like, it's kind of like the gentleman's or gentle ladies.
How much does that cost?
Actually, you get the right.
Let's talk about the economics of this game.
Well, whatever, right? Like
No.
Another one.
I think we've already established that he has too much disposable income.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
does. So my hobbies. Let's see. I'm learning German on the side. So, yes, I'm learning German, and it's really useful and fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Do you plan on going to Germany anytime soon?
Yes, I'll be there in Munich.
Oh, okay. Note to the Enlightened in Munich. Kelley is on.
No, but I would say other hobbies, and this is just an aspirational thing, like one of my favorite branches of mathematics is number theory. I always wanted to retire and work on number theory theorems under a tree somewhere.
Can you do that soon?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you do that soon?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Brandon, of all the places that you've been playing Ingress at, that you traveled to for Ingress, what's been your favorite? As I'm starting over my words.
Point Conception Lighthouse, without a doubt.
Oh.
No, I mean, that place, so the Chumash people thought that it was the gateway for the souls of the dead. But
no, it's not.
Well, obviously, I don't. As a sort of rationalist, I don't actually believe in souls. But as an artist,
not a humanist, but a rationalist.
Well, a humanist is a rationalist. Thank you. Ask the Renaissance. Anyway, the deal is this, right? Like, everyone who is a human being should go to Point Conception Lighthouse and see the end of the Pacific Ocean, because right there, excuse me, let me finish. Thank you very much, and then you can speak. All right. Okay. So there you can see a lighthouse which we built to stop people from dying, because guess what? Some of the first explorers of California died there at Point Conception, right? True. And when you see there, like the sort of the roar of the waves, just sort of like the end of everything, it's just the sea just stretching out. It's indescribably beautiful. And I went there with some friends, and it was it just took my breath away, right? So Ingress has taken me to all these places. And I want to see more of them, and I think it's Is that open to the public? So that's a good question. So if you take a hike there along the beach, you can get to the lighthouse. There's a ranch you can get to. So if you happen to be filming at the ranch, you can get access to it that way. And I'm sure there's some other, but the hike along the beach is the best one, because you get to see a lot of stuff there.
Did you see boars?
See, I have not seen any wild boars. However, some resistance people have seen wild boars. Yes. I intend to
bobcats too.
At some point, I intend to do a moonlight hike at Point Conception, because I think that would be awesome. And if I see the boars, I will report back.
Okay, so, but we've opened to Cape Mendocino Lighthouse.
That's right, Cape Mendocino.
And we both have the same feeling that the lighthouse that is where it is now is in the wrong place.
That's right.
And needs to move back because it's not okay.
At Cape Mendocino, there's a vacancy in reality, right? That's true. That place needs a lighthouse, and there's a plaque there celebrating the sailors who died and all that stuff. And it is. The crazy thing about lighthouses is that they were really only. So I after 13 Magnus, I gave everyone who was on my field team a different picture book of lighthouses up and down the coast. And we have lighthouses. Yeah, every lighthouse, right? And what that taught me though is that if you read about those books, right, lighthouses were kind of valid during sort of the age of sail, and then sort of radio and then radar came along and it all went away, right? Mm-hmm. It all fell apart because they didn't need them anymore. So they're this sort of antique relic of an earlier time. So there's something that was very useful, but only for a narrow window of human history. So that makes them really special, and everyone you see is great. And I've made a lifelong goal to visit every lighthouse on the California coast, because whether I'm playing Ingress or not, I can't. After the time I've spent doing it, I have to visit those lighthouses. So. Although
I'm spending most of my time on my couch in a hoodie and.
Yeah, that's true. We do a lot of operating, that's why I went to Cape Mendocino to throw a field, because I could not see it, right? And the same reason I went to PCL after Recursion.
Right. I was there for my gig too, and it was beautiful.
Yep.
It was beautiful. Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers.
So let's get into a little philosophical discussion here. Kelley, what does it mean to be resistance?
What does it mean to resistance? It means family.
Come on, Kelley. Come on, Kelley.
It means family, and it means that I have grown more in the year and a half I've been in resistance than any time in my life. And it means community, and it means strength. And it means fighting for what you believe in. And it means getting all of the people really, really deeply want something different for ourselves together and working together.
That sounded so sincere
Wow.
with so much conviction.
It is sincere. Also, Brandon, what does it mean to be enlightened?
So I have a whole video all about this, but let me tell you, my degree is in mathematics and physics, and so math is my first love. And there was a mathematician in the 20th century called Paul Erdős, who's a number theorist, and one of his things is that he traveled the world, and he would stay with various people, and he would publish papers with them, right? And he looked at sort of theorems as sort of works of art, because he believed that sort of, a mathematical truth is something that, you can sort of prove in a laborious, sort of uninteresting way. And occasionally you find very elegant proofs, things that are basically, beyond beautiful, that are transcendent. And he referred to these as sort of proofs from God's book. Not that Erdős believed in God, but the idea is that there was this book that occasionally he would get glimpses of, and this sort of burst of enlightenment, and would see like the sort of beautiful, most elegant way to solve a problem. And the search for that elegance, the search for the solution to our problems, is why I am enlightened. Because I believe that, as human beings, we are capable of apprehending beauty. And, and part of that is sort of opening ourselves up to a world that is beautiful around us, and a sort of abstract world that is within us. And, that's why I'm enlightened.
And I think the resistance would agree on principle.
That is to say, if their minds were not being enslaved by an artificial intelligence. Sorry, dude. I want us to succeed as human beings, right? Hey, man, I know what the source.
Let us do it within ourselves.
Except you,
from the roots,
right?
From the soil.
If you wanted to go live on some island without control fields, I would be totally happy. I would buy your ticket to go to that island. However, instead, you're fueling. Yeah, it could be San Miguel.
Okay.
You're fueling the ambitions of this homicidal artificial intelligence, which has killed human beings. It fancies itself a demigod with feet of clay.
Let's love the humans. Let them be who they are.
Right. That's exactly why I think artificial intelligence uploading our minds forcibly into XM.
I feel like we have some points of agreement.
Yeah. That actually leads into a pretty nice viewer submitted question. I think we're going to do away with the whole panel discussion because you two are entertaining enough on your own. So we're just going to fill it in with viewer questions. So keep the viewer questions coming. So another one from Brad Howard.
Oh,
I feel like we should get different questioners.
Yeah.
Trust me, we have a bunch in the hopper, but this dovetails nicely into what you guys were just talking about. So first off, he says, thank you earlier for your insightful answers. Given the fact that you guys work so well together, if a third faction were to be unveiled, would you consider partnering with each other and leading the new faction?
No.
I agree with the values of the Enlightenment, right? But I can't imagine that a third faction would have values that were more in alignment with mine, right? Now, as somebody with an open mind, I'd always want to listen to what the third faction has to say. But in practice, we
will meet for Bloody Marys.
Yeah, that's right.
And
we might ally to crush the third faction under our heels.
That might be fun.
That is a way that we can work together.
We love crushing people. We love crushing people. It's our favorite thing in the world.
I don't know if it's a favorite thing, but it is a pastime.
It helps.
Figuratively and metaphorically and literally, too. Yeah. All three, right?
Yeah. But thank you, Brad. Aww.
Well, I want to ask you something that Gustavo Guevara typed to us, and he says you're the best operators of each faction. Do you have some tips or tricks to give to another agents for this?
So actually, I'll just start with answering this. I am not the best operator for the Enlightenment. I'm a very good operator, but the best. I mean, you have to fight between people like Britt Hollett or Chris Cabracken.
Hello, lovers. You're entering the measurement window.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a sexy operator, but I'll tell you, how about this? Here, what my strengths are, right? Which is that you don't let yourself become sort of panicked. You remain calm. Absolutely. You try to focus on as many things as possible as you can. So that involves sort of entering into sort of a Zen state of sort of mindfulness as you watch sort of all these feeds of data coming in and learn to train your brain to multiprocess between those. Generally speaking, the main thing is that you just realize that your job as an operator is to be there for the people on the ground or in the field or on the road, and like to me that's like this tremendous obligation, right? That like you were kind of the servant of all, right? Like you're the operator. That is what I view my role as.
I agree. I 100% agree. But I also say that using the least words amount possible is really useful.
That's true. When I'm an operator, I'm very succinct. However,
are you?
Yes, I am.
I want to listen to you one day.
Well, you can listen. The Ingress report now has like snippets of ours, right?
I know, right?
So like,
Hydra.
in fact, I've actually, I've actually like, you can. There are plenty of snippets of me telling people to understand that like succinctness is a virtue. Like, I'm very mindful of on a narrowband channel, signal and noise ratio is important. So, this is not a narrowband channel, which is why I'm feel free to hold court.
Right.
Yes.
But most of what we do is preparation and knowing exactly what we're going to do, and being very clear and very succinct and very direct.
In a sexy voice, if you're Kelley.
And yes. Hello, you're entering the measurement window.
Hey, I'm just going to say. I'm just going to give a shout out. I actually think the Australians are the best operators in the world, and the New Zealanders.
You haven't heard me yet.
I understand, but like no, I mean it's just like it's just obvious. Ever since I worked with Brent for 13 Magnets, like those guys, they're just awesome at it, right? And I think they have really good voices. Like, no, I mean like as somebody who appreciates like good like voice work,
you are halfway through your measurement window.
You are in lab, Brandon.
Brent is never husky, but he is always a voice of reason. So, thanks.
So for new players that maybe want to get into the Intel game,
you know what? Talent rises to the top. If you work hard and you really show talent, you will rise.
Do you guys have resources to train them, or people they can reach out to? Let me ask Kelley this because I know the Enlightened answer. But do you guys have like who do they contact if they want more information?
Just talk to me. I'll get you there.
Okay, perfect.
I'll get you there.
And Brandon?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, if people are interested in becoming better operators, we would love to have you, right? I actually think that being an operator is a lot of fun.
It is fun.
You need to make sure that you're within driving distance of the after party. That's like my one information. All
right, we've got one more question. We've kind of touched on it a little bit. We've talked about embarrassing things. We've talked about favorite things. But David Bauman wants to know.
I love you. I love you, BB.
Oh, another person you know.
I do. We all know you.
Given that most agents know about your leadership roles already, what is the craziest thing that you have done in the field, not in a leadership role or hands-on? So, craziest in the field, shenanigans, antics.
Could have warned me. I could have had an answer. Thank you.
I love unscripted answers. Why don't you go ahead first, Kelley? Seems to have
what was the craziest? Seriously, most of what I do is in a hoodie and in underwear with like smeared makeup and drunk.
That is so.
That's what I do. So.
No, but
I have to say, I don't think I've ever had a discussion or a hangout with you, Kelley, where you haven't had some sort of alcohol in your hand. And to that, I say, hats off.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Sorry. Fucking drunk. What is the craziest shit I've done? I dispatched Recursion Oakland crying the entire time. Yeah.
Why were you crying?
Because it was a lot of pressure. And we had a lot to live up to. We showed promise. We showed up to the Enlightened and Magnus and said, this is what we can do, and we better fucking deliver. And so, yeah, I literally cried for 5 hours, and that's the best I got.
Yeah, I took 50 people from the team in Oakland and sent them to
50?
LA. Yeah, 50.
50?
Yep. 50
I counted
people.
35.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, you've been stalking my people.
Totally stalking my people.
So what you're saying is that, like, in tears, you were able to beat Oakland by 10 points with one hand tied behind his back.
Yeah,
I actually think that's a giant improvement over San Francisco to the Madness. No, I mean, like, I actually.
Who the hell fielded? Yeah.
Yeah, but like again, like 35 fewer people, like 50 fewer people.
And then who fielded over for like the entire week afterwards?
I was down at LA getting drunk. Like
you were back, but we kept fielding, and you did not. You did not call people off.
I mean, why would I care? Like we've already won, like the recursion of 7. Like I think I am being totally honest. I think that the level of improvement in the resistance and anomalies in the Bay Area, starting with bowstring all the way to the Oakland recursion, is an upward curve, right? So I'm very impressed with that, right? However, the idea that we took 35 people away, or 50 people away, if you want to take my view, right?
Yeah,
like you could have been there, and like went there,
all
like
of our fielders went down there too, and we still fucking won.
You didn't actually win in LA. You lost in LA.
No. I only care about
I took all
Oakland.
by 10 points, right?
Oakland.
So, like, literally, like, you know,
and
literally.
Then
so it's like, so how about this?
The fucking burst. Oh.
But like, none of us showed up for the burst anomaly, right? Because we have day jobs. We don't hire homeless. Excuse me.
Fucker.
What do you think?
Seriously.
Like, we don't have homeless people in the streets of Berkeley. They're like, you
let's
killed it because like we didn't even have like I was like who
won
here can show for this and like
then we
half of the people were like sorry Brandon I have a day job and I'm like you're right this anomaly doesn't matter why would you
showed up first and fourth you showed up
well I showed up
because
that's because as a leader I have to be there for my people right
you showed up first
that's right. As a leader
all right so let's change topics we'll change topics then how about this we'll start with Kelley first because ladies first. What is your personal Ingress white whale? What is the one thing that you haven't done yet in Ingress that you want to achieve?
I've done everything I want to achieve. I'm satisfied. On a deep personal level, I'm satisfied.
You have reached the Ingress Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Well, it doesn't make you satisfied, but it's still not something you've done.
I know, but it doesn't mean I don't sit there in the middle of the night and going,
maybe you should. You should be not fuck Brandon, but you should be like, wait, so this guy has beaten me like how many times? And like the one thing I wanted to be, he was out of town with his best people and his field team.
I've got staff to do that for me. I've got
your staff is not very good at that. I mean, like they're getting better, right? They're getting better.
Oh,
like,
really?
Hey, you Frito, man. Like,
all right, so Brandon, what is your personal white whale? What is the one thing you want to do that you haven't done yet? Surely, you're a guy who likes challenges, who dreams big. You gotta be something.
So like one of my personal challenges I did recently was we won the Separate Cycle in LA, and we got it by getting the NorCal and SoCal people together to do it, and I was like super excited about that because that was like something I've always wanted to do, and we got that done. I think probably and of course Vitaly kind of did the fielding 35% of the world.
Let's talk about Maui and how he and Ogdobber did.
Hey, I actually think they did a great job.
They did a great job.
But at the same time, we did beat them in that first time. Like when we won the LA Separate Cycle, they tried to claw it back and they didn't succeed.
But you know what?
Because I talked somebody in Vegas to go take it down.
We got 3 minutes, but we got to talk about the love.
Well, actually, you know what? There's one topic I want to talk about, which is
the show is yours. The floor is yours.
So I want to.
California.
This was on our topic list.
California knows how to party.
Well, more importantly, I actually think that the Australians are great fielders, like legendary, but like I don't think anybody does fielding better than us on both sides. I mean, if you look at the people here,
the algorithms because we got some serious shit.
No, I mean it's just I think that like nobody has. We had the first California mega field was like the first biggest mega field here, the first legitimate one that wasn't just some spoofer, right? We're the first people with satellite modems, the first people who travel the earth to do all this fielding. You have people like we have people like on the Resistance we have like Rowery and OG Dopper and Trokar, and on our side we have people like Thrakazog, myself, Crystal Bell, Michaela Bell, so we have some of the best fielders in the world, and like that is something that like
we do.
I just like I totally love living in California because we have the best fielders here on both sides, and but to go back to your question about like sort of my white whale, I mean I talked about my desire to visit all the lighthouses in California. I'm currently looking for a new white whale because after like
new white whale.
Yeah, new white whale. Well, it's never enough, right? What is it that Don Draper has that like sort of tirade DuPont at the end of season 5 where he's like, "You'll never be happy. Happiness is just the moment, right?" I'm looking for the next thing to be happy about, right?
Here's the thing. Here's the situation. We have a good time together. Genuinely, and I think we're going to be good friends long after this is over.
Yeah.
And we have learned from each other.
Yeah.
And we have pushed each other.
What have you learned from me though? Like oysters.
How to be more verbose.
How to be more verbose. Come on. You lose your hands. It's true. I do talk with my hands. Okay.
That's what I've learned, and you know what? I think we both make each other better, and I really enjoy working with you, and I really enjoy working against you, and I appreciate the person you are, and I'm drunk half the time, and he's okay with it.
Yeah, so I'll say that I am...
So say something nice about me before I, punch you in the face.
Here's the thing. Before Kelley came along, the resistance in the Bay Area was not very organized, and it was kind of like, we had we had Bowstring, and then we had 13 Magnus San Jose, and that was kind of like a success catastrophe, if you like it, because we it was kind of like it was obvious that the other side was not very well organized, and then I think Kelley came along and said look, like we have to do better than this, right? Like whoever's running things now is not.
I got deeply angry.
Well, you should get angry, right? Cause, like,
I got deeply angry.
like,
on
you
the
guys
day
were
I
like
changed.
calling each other on the phone like animals, like
Animals?
Meanwhile,
What?
Mr.
Oh,
Magnus
let's
San
go! Let's go!
No, I mean like
Go!
and then like
Coming off.
it was just like it was
Let's
a
go.
total like sort of Trump right, and like they wanted the field. We had a guy there at the place where they wanted the field. It was like no.
We still got it.
No, not for 13 Magnus San Jose. You didn't get a field. Like that was the whole point.
No, not
we won
San
by
Jose,
like
San
we won by
Francisco.
like 600 points. Like
The
the field in San Francisco. This is poorly understood. I gave the field team the day off for 13 Magnus San Francisco because I said we get points by default. So like, why would we bother to field, right? Like
do you regret that?
no, actually,
You
because we
should.
won.
You
What?
should.
Why would like no? Why would I regret that?
Because
Like
we consider this a red. Because like you know what, y'all did dominate. But that was the day when everything changed for us.
really? Like because
Yeah.
I'm like you should have actually been okay. So look, I'm not gonna tell you how to win,
No,
but
no.
like what I'm telling you is that like,
Everything
you guys should have looked at 13 Magnus Seattle and said like look. Like you would not.
Seattle.
No, what I'm telling you is that like
Seattle.
let's put it this way, right? Like I don't. When I play a
game.
game, I don't play to trim the point spread. I play to win. So like
Yeah, you know
that
what?
field was a play to sort of like to hedge their like
was
sort of
a
like
field.
to trim their point
You
spread,
look
right?
a person in the face and say that.
That field was an attempt. Which Chris?
No.
No. I mean like I think Chris is a great fielder, and you know what?
He's amazing.
No, I mean I think he's a friend of mine, and like I think he's awesome, right? But like, and I actually think he certainly won fielding for like Helios 02. But what I'm telling you is that like that field was the wrong move on that day because
You know what?
it's better to roll like, and this is something I think that like I think this is like friends.
Because we showed up for the first time.
Showing up is not a victory, right?
It is a victory.
But you like let's put it this way.
It is
Your
a
victory,
victory.
your
but
strategy
it
on
is
that day,
a fucking victory. but
your
you don't
strategy
have
on that day
to-
was fundamentally
you know it.
conservative, right?
Yeah,
Which
of
is
course.
my whole critique of
You
the
know what?
resistance movement, right? Is fundamentally reactionary,
Yeah,
right?
he was
Like,
dominating
it's not
all
about
the
change
fucking
and-
global MU, right?
That's because you have like so you have like 20 more people in India who have more gas money. Congrats.
You know what? No, fucking cheapen this. That is not the truth.
No, I mean,
You know it.
but this is all
No
about. You
way.
had the question about 13
This is
Magnus San Francisco.
Oakland.
What I'm telling you is that you guys should have done something that was outside of the box. That field was great. It was a great field.
Beautiful.
But you have to
It was
understand,
beautiful.
I have
It was
one
beautiful.
person
It
out in the
was
field.
beautiful.
I have one
You had
person.
two people.
One. Oh,
And,
two.
she didn't have data. Oh,
No,
she didn't
excuse
come
me. I said Meg
prepared.
Angel. I
She
said Meg
didn't
Angel
come
there because I was like,
prepared,
whatever.
motherfucker. She
You know,
didn't
like
prepare.
Meg Angel's great. Like she
Yeah,
will get
y'all
Verizon
trying to
coverage at this
retcon
lighthouse.
this. This is
Oh, so you're
not
saying
what
like
happened. This is
two
not what
people in the
happened.
field
Okay.
really count.
Hugs,
Okay.
hugs.
All right. Let's yeah. Hug it out. We don't need to come to blows over this.
Any more questions from the audience? Because I feel like we have some more questions, Andrew. Like,
You know, we could probably make this thing last another 6 hours if we needed to or wanted to. But
Show me some love. 'Cause I
we
think
will. I tell you what. When we do start the behind the scanner after dark episodes, you guys will be the first guests. And
not together. No.
yeah.
wait, why don't you give us one more question from the crowd? That's
No,
one more,
no,
Andrew.
no,
One
no,
more.
wait,
I
wait.
love questions from the
Wait,
crowd.
one more. No, sweetie.
What would you like?
Sweetie. We have a
Well-
good relationship. Let's keep it.
Of course, like
Let's keep
I'm just
it.
telling you, you guys
So,
like, pursued the wrong strategy.
Maybe
Mhm.
you should be nice for once.
I am being nice.
You're not being nice.
Of course I'm
You're
being
not
nice. You actually have a lot of
jerk.
great accomplishments.
Tell me.
However, okay,
Tell me.
like I thought you did the field at the
Paint me like one of your French girls.
No.
well, I mean, like I never said anything otherwise, right? I think that the field, I think
Guys. I have a question for you.
Oh, we have a thing going.
I know, but I have a thing too.
okay. Jorge,
Fine.
How do you see the future of the game?
Well, the Devers thing happens. It's going to crash completely, fastly.
Vastly. Okay.
Fastly,
No,
quickly.
I think the
It's
future of the
not
game
fun.
is like is like sort of amping up things a notch, right? Because like
What kind of support are they giving to it?
well, who cares about Niantic, right? Like what I'm saying is that like we are going to bring things up a notch because that's who we are. Like the players are going to do it, right?
Yeah, we are.
Like you thought that 600, 800 people in Berlin was a lot. Try 2,000. Like that's going to be us, right?
They
So
can't see it. They can't see it.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that's like I think that like the future of the game lies with us, and we are going to make it like more awesome than ever was before, right? Like more people. We got iPhone users, right? Potentially double the number of players, right? That's like it could go nuts. Like
it's not going nuts.
It is going nuts right now. If I open my scanner right now, I will see 20 new people.
It's gonna die.
It's not gonna die.
It's gonna die. We're not giving you
Kelley,
support.
so let me just tell you that this is very important. In the 6th grade, I was given an award
6th grade
from the Optimist Club of America.
He loves
Kelley
that.
is like, oh, I'm still gonna die, right? But like, most of the time I'm a pessimist. But like, that award tells me that like occasionally.
You conned that motherfucking award.
I didn't con that award. It's just I'm saying like like while I am sort of a pessimist, right? I do like every morning I get out of bed because I believe things can get better. That's part of why they.
No, that's not why he's into it. He's lying to you.
No, that's actually part of why. I mean, I believe things can be better than yesterday. It may not happen. It may require a lot of work. It may require blood, sweat, and tears, but we can make it happen. So that's why. Andrew, I'd like to take one more question from the audience, please.
So Ingress is like Mario Bros.
No.
It will never die?
No. Well, Mario Brothers is like, while it's still around, it's not like, I think that Ingress is more like, I don't know, like a work of art. It's timeless. Yeah, I mean, like, let me tell you this, like, Jorge, I go back and study famous fields in Ingress history. So, like,
really, you do?
Yeah, so of course I do. There are people who
when
like.
do you sleep?
Oh, some people are like,
okay.
oh, those anchors were blah blah. And I'm like, no, you're totally wrong. Like, these are the anchors, right? And I'm like, so like the fact that Ingress is capable of producing elegance is why I'm interested in it. Like,
I will agree with that because it does take a tremendous amount of energy and cooperation and love to make all of this happen on either side.
So, Andrew, do we have one more question from the audience? I feel like that's how we should close because we're really here for the audience.
Are we?
Yes.
We're not. We're not.
We're also here for my scotch.
We're not here for the audience.
80% of this bottle of 18-year Macallan, but that's okay.
Yeah, right there. I'm being.
Actually, one of our questions was simply, what are you drinking? That was from Mark Dobson, by the way. Well, we do have one question that I think is slightly interesting.
Wait a second, I have a question for Mark Dobson. Like, I'm a big fan of his work, but he went to Point Conception License and he's Johnny Walker Blue. Well, Johnny Walker Blue is nice scotch. It's no Macallan. Like, and
oh, come on!
No, I actually.
It's not tough.
I actually set a bottle of scotch like this.
It's not Lafroig.
Yeah, no.
It's not Lagavulin.
Well, yeah, I mean,
what is
cool talk.
No.
Anyway, okay, go ahead with the question.
So Paul Yeager has a question, and it's kind of not really Ingress related or any Ingress game experience related. What do you guys think about Endgame?
I don't have any opinion, and I'm going to retire.
Ask a better question.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like that's not a great.
That's
all we got.
I'm here to chew bubblegum, talk about Ingress, and kick ass. I have no interest. In game. I think that might be the sentiment that most people share, at least at this point. Please go on. Give me a real question. Like one more real question.
Yeah. That's it actually. Those are all the questions that we have.
Come on, better. Because that's disrespectful to both of us.
Yeah, that's right. Because we don't care about in-game.
No, we don't.
We honestly don't have any more questions. We've asked them all.
Then make one up.
Ask the audience.
Make one up.
Ask a question.
Seriously.
Let's see here. This must be an inside joke. Was Zum Cook Kelley?
Say that again?
What?
Dominic Hoffman wants to know, was
Dominic
Cook Kelley?
Thick Deek Dominic. Thick Deek.
Well, while Kelley is busy cursing in German, I, as a gentleman, will say that it's been an honor speaking with you, Andrew. And,
it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you again to everybody who's helped make our successes in California and the world possibilities.
Because everything that happens in Ingress happens here. Right here.
So, I told Kelley that I would not say California Uber Alles, but
California Uber Alles.
What I am going to say is that I think that the people I've met here in California playing Ingress are some of the most awesome in the world. I think that obviously some of the Australians are too, and some of the people in Europe.
But everything that happens in Ingress happens here. Here.
There's no humility at all.
I definitely appreciate.
Here.
I definitely appreciate your subjective views about the center of the Ingress world. I
Yeah.
So apparently,
You guys have been fantastic, very entertaining guests. Thank you very much for your time.
all right.
Brandon Kelley show.
Yeah, that's right. We should have our own show.
We should have our own show.
And interview you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, what about what's the deal with Red
You can
Solo
get them a
Cup?
calendar.
Yeah. Are there other solo cups?
What's the deal with what?
Is it red? Is it red?
No, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. It's not. Actually, so it's a funny story since I guess we have time. We're over anyway.
No
We
one
got nothing
cares.
like going on.
No one cares.
So when I first started playing, I used a different name, and it was something that could tie me to the real world. And I thought maybe I wanted a little bit of
Is
anonymity.
there a
And so I submitted.
checkpoint?
So I submitted a name change, and about 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, I started noticing there was this player, agent, a bunch of numbers, was following me around everywhere, and I started calling him.
Was it barcode?
No, just random numbers. And I kept saying, hey, you're at the portal I'm at. Where are you? And this kept going on for like the 3 hours I was farming until I lost connection, and my phone rebooted. This was back when this was back when Egress would make your phone run like at 100.
Whoa. This woman just asked me if I farm. Everyone in Enlightenment will know that like every night build those self-ups for farm.
Ask me about my spreadsheets.
No, I mean like I can't stop. So I feel it would be a big mistake as somebody who's
Love you,
organizing
Frito.
things. If you stop playing the game, you lose touch with what's going on, right? Which is why I still run a farm and like
You run a farm.
Yeah, I mean like what.
It's so cute.
You didn't know that I ran a farm?
I
Well,
know.
your intelligence is slipping.
I know you do, and it's so adorable.
Yeah.
He's a lead farmer.
It's adorable. It's adorable, this farm. It's adorable.
No, it's adorable. It's an adorable 110 farm.
It's so cute. It makes me just...
Guys, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
We'll finish the stories later. It's all good.
Anytime. And like I said, thank you to everybody in the Enlightenment on our team in the whole world.
Resistance, I love you!
Yeah.
Sharks! Alex!
All right.
Got it!
Alright.
So for those of you that are still watching, if you know somebody that might be a good guest, please let us know. Go to bit.ly/BTS_guest. Again, that link is bit.ly/BTS_guest. If you miss any part of the show and you want to watch the whole thing again, you can go to youtube.com/behindthescanner. And also, don't forget to check out the Meridian Project and Kelly Coulton's Ingress Happy Hour that she hosts. I think she's moving it to Tuesdays or Wednesdays. She's taking some time off. She'll bring it back in a couple of weeks. Thank you all for tuning in and watching Behind the Scanner. We'll be back next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.